Hello everyone. I think we are live right now and let's just start our rapid games. I'm going to search for a 10-minute game which I have got. So my opponent has started the game by playing d4. Let me play knight to f6 here. Bishop to g5 he has played. So this is known as Trompowsky opening. Now I'll just play d5 for now. So there is a choice. We either can take with this pawn or with the g pawn. So I think I will going to take with the g pawn, and so of course my king side pawn structure is broken, but there is a control on the central square. So let me just challenge by playing c5, or else for now I can also play pawn to a6, preparing to play c5 on the next move. Let's see how it goes. My opponent has gone for g3, so he wants to fianchetto his bishop. Let me just play pawn to c5 here, and if white capture, then I can recapture with my bishop. So let me just develop by playing knight to c6 for now. Let's see how it goes. My opponent is thinking here, maybe in this position he can play knight f3, which he did, of course. So we are going to play just bishop d6 and short castle on the next move. Let's see how it goes. My opponent has placed pawn to a4. I don't know what's the plan of this move. Maybe something like he wants to play knight a3 or knight to b5, but let's see. So in this position we can short castle here, which I am going to do. I think this is a solid move, and our king is quite safe here because this pawn gives some protection for our king. Let's see what my opponent plays here. Okay, so he really wants to go to knight b5. So let me just stop his plan by playing pawn to a6, just controlling the b5 square. He went for knight c2. What's his plan right now? So he either wants to take on c5, and after this he wants to put his knight on the d4 square. So can we just play queen to c7 here, or maybe we can also play queen e7, which I just played here. Pawn a3. So we have to do something about our light square bishop. Let's see where we can develop it. Maybe we want to prepare b5 or not. Let me just play bishop to d7 here, and our both rooks are connected right now. So he played knight to s4. Let's see. So he is opening up the diagonal for his queen. So he wants to come, I think, queen to g4 or queen to s5. So let me just move my king from g file and wait for his response, what he wants to play. He castle short side. So we will just play b5 and try to create some play on his queen side here. Let me just recapture it and just remove this move. Okay, so now our rook is on the open file. So he plays this move. So for now, d5 pawn is under attacked for us. I am thinking of playing something different. Maybe I have to capture it because there was no other choice. Let me just kick his bishop from here and see where he goes. And so bishop into c6 is not a good move because after that our bishop will get a new diagonal. So right now our b5 pawn is attacked. So let's see what we can play here. Maybe we can go for this move, which looks like a good move for right now. Let's see what my opponent plays here. Okay, he captured on the c5 square. So we can recapture it, of course, which I am going to do. And if white wants to play, then he can also capture on the b4 square, which he did, of course. And let me just take with the knight and just remove it just in case. So this diagonal is quite open right now, so our plan should be to put our bishop here and go into c6 square and just checkmate him on this diagonal. Okay, he is attacking our rook right now, so what are the choices we have? Let me just play this rook to c8, just controlling this file and also preparing to play bishop to c6 there. So let's see what my opponent plays. Because bishop to c6 is quite a strong move. What he plays, he sacrifices his knight, but I don't think it is going to work for him. So let me just capture it. And he also exchanges his bishop. So for now we are going to play something. Let's see what we can play. Maybe we can also pin his bishop by playing queen to f6. I'm just thinking for what can he respond after playing queen to c6. Let me see. Queen to c6, then he can play queen to b3, counter attacking our bishop. So then we can also capture him. Yes, I think this is a good move. So for now g4 is forced for him, but let's see what he plays here. We are also keep eyeing on his b2 pawn just in case. Maybe he can also play queen to b7, then the same thing will happen. What he did, he sacrifices his queen, so the queen is hanging right now. Let me just take it. And Of course, white got a rook and a bishop for his queen, but I don't think he has much compensation for it. Let me just play king to g7 for now, and his rook is quite passive on this square because whenever he moves his rook, there can be some threat. Okay, let's see. Okay, this rook is just hanging. Should have played rook to c1, but he put his rook on the d1 square, which is hanging right now. Okay, so white has resigned the game. Let me search for the new game. And we are playing with a Israeli player, if I'm not wrong. Yes, he is from Israel. Let me start the game with d4. My opponent has played the gambit, which is known as, I think, England gambit. This opening is known for. So we will capture this pawn. And let me just play knight to f3 here. So if he takes our pawn, we will exchange the queen and then recapture it. So he did not take it. So we will just develop our knight and we won't go for his pawn. And now we are thinking to take it. But let me just play bishop to f4 for now and see if he really wants to capture our knight or not. Yes, he wants to capture it, so let me just recapture and see. Okay, he wants to exchange the queen also, which we are going to do. And on the next move we can play bishop to e3, just controlling the d4 square. And next move we can play bishop c4. Yes, let me just play this bishop to c4 here, and we are also keep eyeing on his f7 pawn. Knight f6 he has gone for. Let me just sort castle here. Knight d4 he has placed, so there is an attack on this pawn. Let me see what we can play. We can play this bishop to d3, just saving our pawn here. And on the next move we can go to the e4 square with our knight, or else we, okay, so first of all let me play this knight to e4. This is a good move, I suppose. Bishop e7 he has played, so let me just place my rook on this square, and we are threatening to play this pawn to c3, kicking his knight from this central square. So he has gone for this move, so let's follow our plan of playing c3 move here. Now the knight is under attack. He went for knight to f5, but this is a mistake because I can capture his knight by giving check, and when he recapture, then we can also take his knight. That's what I'm going to play here. This is a check which is most important, and now just this move and we are a piece up here. Okay, so my opponent has resigned the game. Let me start a new one. And we are playing a player from Peru, I think. Yes, I am right. Let me play French defense. D5. Okay, so he captured it. Let me recapture. And we will just develop our pieces one by one. So he put his bishop on the d3 square, which is blocking his d pawn. So how can he develop this bishop? I'm not sure. So we will just play c knight to f6 there, and then we can also try to play c5 and c4 here. But for now, let me just play this bishop e7, and on the next move we will sort castle here. Yes, let's see how it goes. So he plays rook to e1, so we will just sort castle here and follow up by playing c5, knight to c6, and something like that. Let's see how it goes. My opponent is thinking for now. So maybe white can play b3, follow up by bishop to b2, or else he can also try to play c3, bishop to c2, and then play d4 here. Okay, he chose queen to e2, so now our bishop is under attack. So let me just play rook to e8, saving my bishop and also putting my queen, I mean my rook, on the same file of his queen here. He plays queen to f1, which is quite a passive square for his queen, so we are just going to play this move. Let's see what he plays here. Knight to e5 he has gone to. So we have to save our bishop, which I am going to do by playing bishop to f5 here. Let's see. Let's see. Bishop e2 he has played. Okay, so we can also exchange it, I think, by playing this. And we can play this. Now the knight is under attack. So he moved his knight. Let me just develop my other knight here. And we will capture with our queen. So these pieces of white are not developed yet. So how he is going to develop it? is a big question. So he plays knight to c3, and we will just play this pawn to a6, just controlling the b5 square, and we are also threatening to play this move. So we can play this, I think. Then he can go to the e2 square. So let me just play this, controlling the g5 square and stopping his bishop from coming on this square. So bishop to e3 he has played. Let me just play knight b4, and we are hitting the c2 pawn of white for now. So he plays rook to c1, and we can play c5 here, trying to play d4, forking his bishop and his knight. Okay, my opponent has played bishop to d2 here. Let me just play this. Now the knight is under attack, and maybe he wants to play rook even. Then we can just move our queen here, and his knight is also under attack. Let's see what he plays here. Let's see. He goes to the d1 square, but this pawn is right now hanging. So which I'm going to capture it for now, and just play this move. So he plays this, and our knight is under attack. So let me save it. And when he capture on d4, we can either take with the knight, but I think with taking with the pawn is best, because this pawn is controlling both of these square, which is also limiting his knight to come to. He plays rook to a4 here, so white is hitting our d4 pawn for right now. Let's see what we can play. We can play b5 here, and we can hit his rook for now. So he sacrifices his exchange, which we are going to capture it. And we can play this move for now, which is a check, and when he capture it, then we can play queen e5 check, forking his king and a knight. Then we will get a pawn for it, which will be good for us. So this is a check, and his knight is also under attack, so we will just step pawn up from here. Let me just capture his knight for now. And we will save our queen, not a problem. Knight to e3 he has played. Let's see what I am going to play here. Let me just attack his pawn. So d3 pawn is under attack for now. Let's see how he's going to save it. He plays this move, but we are going to capture this pawn, and let me remove it. I don't think this was a good move from him. He could have tried on this position to play d4, but okay, so white has resigned right now. Let me start a new game, and we are playing with Virsekhar Ramnath. Let me play c5, Sicilian defense. Let me capture it. And he took with the queen, which is not a good move because knight can attack his queen. So let's see. We can play g6 here and try to fianchetto or bishop on the g7 square. Yes, let me play this. This is also not a good move because I can just develop my knight by hitting his central pawn. Okay, so if I capture this, then he wants to play this move, knight to c7 check. But yeah, just save this threat by playing this. We are not in a hurry. So in the next move we can try to capture this pawn if white does not save it. Yes, he missed to save it, so let me just capture it. So we are a pawn up for now. Queen e2 he has played, so we can just come back, and this pawn is right now supported with the queen and also with the knight, so there is no problem for us. We can recapture with our bishop here, and next move we can try to short castle here. So white has just stopped us from castling, but this is not a problem because we can try to play this check, and on the next move we can come to this square and hit his bishop here. Let's see. So he blocked the check with his knight, which is not a good move because white is just under developing his piece. We can here try to develop our bishop here, and we are targeting the c2 pawn of white for now. Let's see what my opponent plays here. So he goes for g3 move, but this pawn is hanging, so I'm going to capture it. And we are also threatening to play this move. Let me just save my bishop. And for now white's both pawn are hanging, and so he's targeting our knight for now. Okay, so I'll just save it by playing rook to c8. So he captured it, which is not a good move. Let me just capture with the pawn. And see what white's play here. So he shot a castle here. So we can try to exchange our queens by playing queen to b5 here, and this rook is supported by my bishop, so he can capture it, then we will recapture with our pawn. Let me see what he plays here. So he has played queen to f3. And we can't sort castle here. This is a problem for now. But how can we solve it? Let me just play this move. And we will try to play queen to f5 on the next move. So for now our bishop is attacked. How can we save it? We can either wants to capture this pawn, which I think we can do it. Let me just capture it. And white can also pin our bishop by playing rook to even move. Then I was thinking of playing. Okay, he plays rook to c2, which is not a good move, I think. We can just return with our bishop. We can either play bishop to d4 and try to play c5 and bishop to c6 here, which looks quite good. Okay, let's just play bishop to d4 here. Hi Nick Creek, this is chess.com. Chess.com website is this where we are playing right now. So guys, do make sure to like this stream. So now the threat is to play this knight into d6 check, which will hit king and the queen because we cannot capture it because our pawn is pinned here. Let me see what I can play. We can play this move for now, just blocking this rook's file. Yes, you can challenge me for a 10-minute game and we can play after this game. So you can challenge me on the chess.com. We can play when I finish this game. Let's see what white plays here. So he goes for this move. So now the attack is on our bishop. So I can play this move for now. So we wants to exchange our queen because we are 3 pawns up in this position. And we are also hitting his rook for now. Maybe he wants to play. Okay, he did not. So let me just capture with the bishop, I suppose. We are hitting his rook. That's not a problem in Greek. We are all beginner when we start playing. We can play if you wants to play. So let me just save our bishop here because our bishop was hit by his rook. Did you play chess before? Hey Greek, did you play chess before? So let me just save my bishop here because bishop was hit. Yes. Now finally we can castle by first of all exchanging his bishop, and okay, there is one problem here again. So if we short castle, then he can capture our pawn. Okay, Greek, we can play after this game. You can challenge me. Let me just first kick his knight from here. Then we will play bishop e6, hitting his rook. Then we can short castle. Yes, let's follow our plan. Maybe white can play rook a4, hitting our c7 pawn. In this, in that case, we can just save it by playing rook to c7. But we have to see what he wants to play here first of all. Yes, white did play rook a4, hitting our pawn. So let me just save it by playing rook to c7 here. And we will just here castle to the king side and try to place our rook to the b file. So for now I think white's best move is to play rook to b1 here. Let's see, which he misses of course. So now he attacked our pawn here, but I think we can sacrifice this pawn, and let me just develop our rook on the b file, and when he capture this, we can also capture this pawn of white, which gives us these pawns which are passed, and we will try to push it and make a new queen. So let me just push this pawn. There are no threat for him. So white wants to play rook to s7 and capture this pawn. Let's see. Pawn push rook s7, then we can again push our pawn, and when he capture it, then we can queen. I think that's what I'm going to play here. Let me just push it. Okay, so he stopped our pawn from winning. So right now we can play pawn to f6, targeting white's knight, and when the knight moves, we can also capture this. That's look like a good move. White can play here knight to e6, counter attacking our rook, but then we can just capture it, and when he take our rook, we can play rook to b1. Then white has to capture our rook, then we can promote a new queen in this game, so that will win us the game. Okay, so he resigned here. So Nigrik, if you are still here, you can challenge me. You can go to chess.com and search for my name, and you can place a challenge here. So I can wait for some time. In the meantime, we can follow this game, which just got finished. Let me just look up for a new game. Okay, this game is still running. So you guys can challenge me on chess.com. I am waiting for your challenges. So you guys can challenge me on chess.com. Yes, Sangrik, I am waiting for your challenge. You can challenge me, just make sure it is a casual game, not rated. Yes, I wrote in the chat, which you can see. And try to challenge a casual game of 10-minute rapid. Then we can play, of course. Or, or else you can say your username and I can try to challenge you. That could also happen. So just drop your username on the chat and uh, I will send you a challenge. I am waiting for your challenge. I Greek. Okay, Agric, I can try to send you a challenge on chess.com. Just try to be on the live chess and we can play. Wait, I am sending you a challenge. Just wait for a few time. Yes, I have found your account and I have sent you a challenge which you can accept if you can see it. I just sent you a challenge. You are still not accepting my challenge, Nigric. What shall I do right now? I am waiting for you to accept my challenge, or else I can search for a new game. Okay, let's see. You are still not accepting my challenge, Nigric. What shall I do, my friend? I think I am going to start a new game right now. Or I can still wait for 30 seconds for you. Let's see. You are still not accepting it, so I think I'm going to start a new game. Yes, we are going to play a new game, and right now playing with a Vietnamese player. Let me play pawn to e4 here. Knight to f3 we are going to play. He is going for Sveshnikov, I think. Okay, let me just play this move. Bishop to b5, and we are going for the Rossolimo. Let me just capture it and short castle here. So he pinned our knight here, which is not a problem for us. We will just play pawn to d3 here, and we can try to go knight b to d2 and rook e1 we can play. So Nigric, I can't see your link in the chat, and I also sent you a challenge which you did not accept it. So I don't know right now what we can do. Let me just play b3 here and bishop to b2, or we can play later Nigric. We can also play after this game. So right now we can play g4 here, and after bishop to g6 we can capture this pawn, which I think I'm going to do. So he sacrifices his knight. I don't think this was a good move from him. Let me just play this king to g2 here. I think he wants to play pawn to f5 or what. Maybe he can try it. Black has gone for pawn to s5. Let me just play this. Just moving our queen from the pin. Okay, he's playing quite aggressively here. What shall I play? Let me just play here. Rook to h1, just controlling this square. And when I capture this pawn, we can try to take with the queen. So let's see how it goes. So he plays queen to f6 here. Let me play here queen to e3, and we are trying to go queen to f6 here. I mean queen to g5 here. So finally he plays pawn to f4, which I wanted, because now this file is blocked. So we can move our queen to this square and try to go queen to g1 and queen to s2. Let me see what he plays here. So this is quite a good position for both of us, because black wants to attack my king, so he sacrifices a knight for it. But right now it does not look like there is much for him. So for now I can try to play queen to g1 here, and if bishop takes knight, and then I can capture with my queen, I mean with my king, so there is no problem I think. So queen to g1 is perfectly fine for now. When he capture it, then I can capture with my king, I suppose. Yes. So right now I'm trying to play king to f1, just moving my king from this file where black's queen is. Let's see how it goes. This is an important moment for black. Black have to find something here. Otherwise, I'll be just a piece up if I'm not wrong. When I play king to f1, then I don't think there is much for black. After when I play king to f1 and king to e2, hello everyone, just try to write something in the chat which will encourage more people to say something. And let me just play here queen to s2. Wait, did I blunder or what? Because he can play this bishop into knight, which I completely missed in this position. Because okay, so he missed it. There was bishop into knight check, and when I take with the queen, then queen to g4 was a checkmate. Queen to g4 I mean, and when I capture with my knight, then there was also queen to g4 check, and after king to f1 he can capture my knight, which he missed. So let me just move my king from here. So he missed the bishop into f3 check, which shall win for him, but he missed it. Okay, okay. Let me just go king to e2 on the next move and try to bring this rook to the g file. Okay. Can I play here knight to h4, and when he save his rook, then I can play pawn to f3? Is this possible or not? I think this is possible, so I am going to play it. Now black's rook is under attack. So I was planning to play pawn to f3 here. I think I can play it because his bishop has no square to go to. Yes, I agree, you can send me a challenge. After this game we can definitely play with you. So he plays rook to f8. What shall I do here? I can just play king to f2 because his bishop is still has no square to go to. And in the next move I'll bring this rook on the g file. So let's see what happens here. So Negrik, where are you from, if you don't mind asking you? So he captured it, so let me just capture with this knight, and now rook is under attack. He plays rook to g3. Let me just bring this rook here, and I want to try to exchange this also. Let's see. He plays queen to g4 here. I think I can capture it, no? Yes, I can capture everything here. I can also capture this also, and we are just taking everything from him. Let me just play there rook to g1, and we will try to go knight to f5 on the next move, trying to threat queen into g7. So he plays rook to f4 here, and he wants to play after knight to f5. He wants to go to the g4 square, but I think in this position I have a good move, which is a queen sacrifice of queen into rook, and when he capture with this, I can play rook into g7 check. So both the queen and the king are under attack, so black has to capture this, and after bishop takes, if he plays king takes, then there is knight to f5 check, and bishop and knight both are under attack. That's what I'm going to play here. You are from Meghalaya. Okay. Let me just play knight to f5 check, and both his bishop and king are under attack. Yes, he resigns. So, Greg, you can send a challenge. You can send me a challenge, Greg. I am waiting for your challenge. I am waiting for your challenge. I just sent you a challenge, Agric again. You can accept it by going to the live chess on chess.com. Or I don't know how we can play if you don't accept my challenge. Or you can also try to challenge me by going to the chess.com. Uh, uh, I am waiting for your challenge. I am waiting for your challenge. I click. Just send me a challenge, bro. We can play. Waiting for your challenge. Uh, I can't see your challenge, my Greek. I cannot see your challenge on my screen. And I have also sent you a challenge which you are not accepting. Let me just send a link in this chat which you can accept it and we can play. Wait a second. I am sending you a link. Just wait. I am sending you a link. Yes, yes. Finally, I can see your challenge, which I'm going to accept it. But you have sent me a rated challenge. Okay, no problem, no problem. We can still play. We can still play. Let me play on to e6 here. He plays knight to b5 here, which I don't think is a good move because I can save my pawn for now. This pawn is saved. Let's see what white plays here. c3 he has gone to. I think here I can kick his knight from here. So knight is under attack right now. So he sacrifices his knight. Let me just capture it. And here I can go for d5 move, which I think is a good move. Okay, okay. Let me just capture this pawn and I will develop my knight here, hitting his bishop right now. Hello John Penian Momin, how are you? Let me just give a check here. And I will capture it. He cannot take with the queen because his bishop would have hanged, so he saw it. Let me just castle here. And I will try to capture this pawn also. I don't see a problem. So which makes me 3 point up right now. That's a quite a big number of point for a game. So I think I have quite a good position right here. So let's see how my opponent plays here. He goes for rook to b1 move. So here I can play this move, queen takes queen, and when he captured with the bishop, then I can go rook to d8 move, hitting both his bishop and his knight also. I think that will be a good move. Let me just play rook to d8 here, hitting his bishop and the knight, which he cannot save it. Let's see what he plays here. Okay, okay. So he plays knight to f3 here, but this bishop is hanging right now, which I am going to capture it. Let me just exchange the rooks also, and let me develop my bishop here. So right now I can play this move, rook to d8 here, and try to exchange the rooks also. Let's see how it goes. It's my opponent's move here. So he plays rook to e1. Let me just kick his knight from here. And when he capture it, then I can also recapture with my pawn. Let's see what he plays here. Yes, I can capture with it. So he cannot capture my pawn because I can deliver a check, and that will be a checkmate on his back rank. That's why he plays pawn to h4, opening up a flight square for his king. That's a good move from him. Let me just bring out my king also, and let me go to his second rank where my rook is quite active. Okay, so he missed this check, so there is a check, and this pawn which I'm going to capture also. So this is just winning for me. He played this, but this is not a good move because I can jump knight to d4. Now is a threat to play this. This is a check, and he cannot go to the h1 square because rook h2 will be a checkmate, and right now I can play this. Now the threat is to play knight g to s2, that will be a checkmate. So he has to play rook to e2 here, but then I can also play this, which will decide the game on the spot. So let's see what he plays here. Yes, he did play rook to e2, so let me just play this. So now he have to capture my knight, but after that it is just a game over for him. King h1, then rook to s2 will be a checkmate, so he did not go for it. Let me just push this pawn here, and there will be a checkmate. Pawn push, and rook to f2 will be a checkmate. So I don't think white can stop it. Yes, let me go for it. So there is this move for him. So this is not a stalemate after king to f6. So I don't have to worry much. Now I can play pawn to f2, and after pawn a5 there will be rook to f2 check. Very good game by Tigrex. So well played. Well played, bro. Let me just search for a new game here. Now I am playing with a Uzbekistani player. So game got about is, so let me search for a new game here. Okay, so now I have the black pieces. Let's see. Let me play Karo Khan for this game. D5 I can play. So he plays the exchange Karo Khan. Pawn to c4 was the main move, which is known as Panov Botvinnik attack, but he did not go for it. Let me just play here. Let's see what my opponent plays here. Queen f3 he has gone to, but this is not a good move because this square is there for the knight, but he places his queen here, so knight can't get developed on this square. And I can also try to hit his queen right now. Let me just play pawn to s6 here, and I can try to go bishop d6 on the next move. So now the threat is to play this. I have to do something. Let me just come back with bishop to f5, and now I am hitting his pawn here. He shot castle here. Wow. He shot castle here. Let me just attack his queen for now. He goes. Where does he go? He goes to the e3 square. I will just shot castle here. Not a problem. Yes, I agree. We can also play in the evening. Let's see. Now the problem is my knight is pinned here, so I cannot move my queen. I can move my queen here, but then he can capture it, which I think he have to do, because on the next move I can go here. Okay, so I got a chance to go here, which I'm going to take it, because why not? Why shall I double my pawn on the king's side? That's not advisable. He played g4 move, but this pawn is hanging. Why did he sacrifice this pawn? Let me just capture it for right now. And he captured my knight, so I have to recapture it. And here I can play pawn to s6 for now. Yes, which I'm going to do. I can also capture this pawn of him, because he cannot capture with the knight. His rook would hang. So I think I can capture it. I think he missed this move. Or not. Now this is getting quite deadly for me, I think, because there is a checkmate threat on this square. I think I have to play this. Which I missed, if I am not going to lie. That move I have missed for sure. Okay. Let me block by playing queen to f7 here. He exchanges, so I cannot play this, because there is bishop to c4 here. I think I can play it, no? I will capture with the rook. And there is g5 which I can play. I think he has missed this move. Let me just play it, g5. He can here try to play bishop to c4. Which he did not. So let me just capture it. Now in the next move I will save my rook also. Yes, I'll definitely save my rook. Let me play rook to f8 here. Or I could have also played king to g7. That would have been quite good, but what to do? I missed it. So he gave a check, so let me just play king to g7 here and see what happens. I will hit his knight here. This pawn is supported by my rook. Okay, Negric, we can play later definitely. You can watch my stream. I will try to stream daily for sure. So whenever you see me online, you can send me a challenge. We can definitely play. So let me just play here. Rook to f5. I mean rook to e4. I'm hitting his d4 pawn here. Okay, no problem. Negric. Whenever your net is good, we can play. You can challenge me whenever you want. Let me just push this pawn for now, and we will try to make a new queen here. Okay, now this is under attack, so how can we save it? We can play king to s6 here. Just be safe, and we are supporting this pawn also. So you guys can also challenge me who are watching right now. We can play after this game. If you want to play a game with me, you can send a challenge on chess.com. We are playing right now. Just send me a challenge and we can play definitely. So this pawn is now supported and we are trying to push this pawn also. So he plays knight to c7. Does he wants to go there? I think he does. He wants to go there. Let's see what happens if we play there. Pawn to f3, knight to e6, then we can play pawn to f2. I think that would win me the game. So let me try it. This pawn is just a full square from queening. So we are going for it. And we are hoping to make a new queen. So let's see what happens. What my opponent does here. So he goes for pawn to s4, which I don't think is a good move because I can also push this pawn, which I think I'm going to do because this will be a good move for sure. Yes, let me just push this pawn here, and on the next move I will play pawn to f2 here, which will hit white's rook, and on the next move we can also try to play rook e1 check, which will force him to capture our rook. That would win us the game. So here we can play pawn to f2, and if he takes our rook, then we can capture his rook and promote a new queen. That will be quite a good move. So this game is now over, I suppose, because he cannot do anything right now. Because when he save his rook, then we can play rook e1 check, which I'm going to play right now, and then we will exchange this rook. If he does not capture our rook, then we can promote here. Everything is winning in this position, so let's see. Everything is winning. Everything is winning. We will gain 19 points after winning this game, so we will be 1325, I think. Yes, then we will play a new game again. You guys can also challenge me if you are seeing it live. We can play it definitely. My opponent is thinking here what he wants to play. Let's see. I think he is going to resign the game, if I'm not wrong. Or or he will let his timer run out, which is not a good sign from a player. But what can we do? What can we do? We can't do anything. Let's see what my opponent plays here. He is not moving anything. If he wants, he can resign. He is just wasting our time right now. What can we say? He is just wasting our time. So just 15 seconds is left. I think he will let his clock run out. We could not have done much to stop it. So we won our game. Let me search for a new game here. And we are playing from a player from Romania, I think. Let me see. Yes, this is a player from Romania. Let me start by playing pawn to e4 here. Why did he abort the game? I don't know. Let me play pawn e4 again. He goes for pawn to e5. I think in this game I'll try something new. We will try to play Danish Gambit here. Let me play c3 here. And let me play bishop to c4. And I'm sacrificing this pawn also, which he does not want to take. So we will just develop normally here. And we are still sacrificing this pawn. If he wants, he can take it, but he does not want to take it. So now I'm just going to capture this pawn. Okay, so he plays bishop e7. Now he's planning to castle here. We can play bishop f4 here, and when in castle, now we can try to stop his bishop from coming to g4 square. What are my arrows? My arrows are going wild. So we can stop his bishop from coming to g4 by playing pawn to s3 here, which I'm going to do. So let's see what we can play. We can try to play queen to e2, and we wants to bring our rook to the same file of his king. So let's see what he wants to do here. Yes, let's play rook a to d1 right now. And now we can play this move. But again, his rook is also on my queen's same file. So let me just bring my other rook here, and all of our pieces are quite well developed on good squares. So this is a good thing for us, I suppose. Let's see, he plays bishop e6 here. So we can try to play knight d5, and if he capture with, no, I don't think knight d5 will be a good move. So let me just bring my bishop here, and we will save our bishop by playing bishop b1 and then queen to c2 here. Or here we can also try pawn to e5, which looks like a good move here. Let's see. So I'm thinking of playing this move right now. Now the plan is quite simple: to play queen to c2 and make a battery on this diagonal. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. Okay, for now, let me just bring my queen here, and we are just pointing towards his king, and we will hope to deliver a checkmate on this square. Now, also here the threat is to play knight to d5 here, and if he capture with the bishop, then after pawn takes, we will unleash our rook, and there will be also attack on his knight, which will allow him to play knight e5, but then knight into e5 is there, and after pawn takes we can capture with the rook. That would be good for us. So guys, if you are watching, do make sure to like this stream, which will help. Okay, so here we can play this move pawn to e5, just opening up the battery of our queen and bishop. I think this is a good move. Now we are also threatening to play this. I think our opponent has missed this move. I don't know. Okay, so he missed that this is a checkmate. How can we miss this? So we can play this. That will be a checkmate. So GG to my opponent. Let me search for a new game, and we are playing a Indian player. So let me start with the French defense here. I'll play d5 here. Yes, let me go for the c5 move. These are all the quite thematic move in this opening. Knight to c6. I'll play here. Bishop b5 is not a good move, my friend, because I can play here bishop d7. Now I'm threatening to play this knight into e5, so you have to capture it. Now I can also capture with the pawn, but I think bishop takes is also fine. Let's see. Let me just play this queen to b6, and we are putting pressure on white center, so we have to see how he is going to defend it. He plays knight to c3. Let me bring my rook to the c file. This is the c file, so we are going to, I think we can plan to capture this pawn also, opening up the c file for my rook. But we have to see what my opponent plays here, because this is an important moment for him. So he wants to move his bishop, so he is supporting his pawn, I think, which is a good choice for him. Let me just play here, and I want to go to the f5 square, which I am going to do here. And now I have choice. I can capture his bishop here, and after pawn takes, I can also take his queen here. So that's what I am thinking. But I think this move is also good. I don't have to take risk here. Now this position is a good version for me, because all of my pieces are developed, and after some time I can also open up the diagonal for this bishop by playing pawn to d4 here. So that will also be quite good for me. Let's see what my opponent plays here. So he plays this move. I think this is not a good move because I can play here d4 move, opening up the diner for my bishop, and this knight is also hanging. When he save his knight, let's say by going to e2 square, then I can capture this knight also. So I think my opponent has missed this move. So let me play it. Now the knight is under attack, and I'm also threatening to play this move. So how he is going to save it? That's the question. Let me see where he moves his knight from here. He can either go to e2 square or to d1 square. He has only two choices because these squares are controlled by my bishops. So I think I'm going to just capture this, and I'll also capture this pawn. Let me take this. Now his knight is also hit. So he goes to g3 square. Now do we want to exchange the knight and fix his pawn structure, or we can also try to play knight to h4 here, which I think I'm going to do because this looks like a good move because we are hitting his pawn here. How can he save this pawn? I'm not seeing a way for him to save this pawn. Okay, so let me just exchange this, and we can castle here. Definitely we can castle here, which I'm going to do. He can try to come for the 7th rank by playing rook to c7, but then there is rook, yeah, knight into f3, which he save it. So let me just try to bring my rook behind my pawn, and I just want to push my pawn and make a new queen. So he save it. Let me just push it one square, and I will also try to bring my king to the center. Then there will be no back rank problem. So okay, so he wants to play knight d6 here. Okay. Let me just stop it by playing here. If I play this move, then he will go knight to c5, hitting my pawn. Or we can try to play this move also. This is quite clever from me because we are hitting his knight also, and we are not allowing white to block our rook's path to save my pawn. So now he wants to play this move. That will be a checkmate, so I have to save it by playing something like pawn to s5. I can play here. I think I'm going to, or pawn to s6 I can also play, because pawn to s5 will allow his knight to come to the g5 square. But let me just play pawn to s5, and if he tries to come knight to g5, then I can play g6, but here I can go here. If knight g5 check, then there is king to g6 here. Now our king is quite safe. Now we are threatening to go here. I don't think white can able to save this. White have to play here, but then again I can play this move. Rook into f4. That would lose another pawn for white. So let's see what he is going to play here. Let's see what my opponent play here. This is a important moment. Okay, he did find this move. Now I can capture this, and we are hitting his knight here, so knight f3 is forced for now. Then we can come back, which he did not play, so we will just capture his knight for now. And we are just winning here. There is no defense I think for him. So now this pawn is under attack. Let me see. We will just save this pawn. No point in thinking too much here. Now we can also bring our king here. This person is totally winning for us. Let me just bring my king here. And wait a second. Let me see for it. Let me first go here, and we are threatening this pawn and also this pawn. Let me just capture this also, and we will go here. Now we are threatening pawn push and then knight to b2 here. First of all, let me go king to f3 here. Now his king cannot also come to the e2 square when we push our pawn. I will just capture this, and I'll also capture this. There is no threat of stalemate because he has quite a lot of move to play. So this is not a stalemate. Now I'm threatening to push his pawn, which he of course missed. Now we will play knight b2 here. Now his rook is under attack, and he have to sacrifice his rook. Let's see what he plays here. Hello everyone, those who are watching this stream, do make sure to write something in the chat. Let's communicate and have fun. I'll just take this, and I can also capture this pawn, and king g1 will be forced. Then I'll promote a queen, and after king to s2 I can deliver a checkmate on h1 square. Let me do it. I can also promote to a rook here which will be a fun, and rook h1 is a checkmate here. GG, good game. Let me search for a new game here, and we again are playing with a Indian player. Let me start by playing pawn to e4, which is best by test according to former world champion Bobby Fischer. Knight f3 I'll go to. d6 is playing, which is known as Philidor defense. Let me just develop my bishop here. Okay, my opponent has gone bishop to e7 here, which is a good move I think. I can also play d4 here. opening up the center, and I will try to capture with my queen. Now this pawn is under attack, so he cannot play knight to c6. Okay, let me just develop this. Let's play just simple chess here. c5 he has played, which is not a good move because now the d5 square is quite weak because there will be no support from the pawn. Now I'm thinking where to go to. I can go to e3 square, or either I can try to go just d1. I think, or I can also try to go to d3 square, which I think I likes the most. d3 is a good square, and I will try to castle long side by playing bishop to g5 in the next move. Let's see where he goes. He also castled king side. So let me just play bishop to g5. Now the threat is to exchange my bishop with his knight, which is controlling the d5 square, and that will help me to place my knight here. Let me just play pawn to s3, just controlling the g4 square, which will stop his bishop from coming here. He played knight to b4. Now he is hitting my queen here, so I can just save it here by playing queen to d2. No problem here. And on the next move we can try to castle long, or we can also castle short side. Both are good options here. Let's see what my opponent plays here, then we can decide where to go to. He can try to play bishop e6 here, which I think is a good move for my opponent, but let's see what he does here. We will just kick his knight from here by playing pawn to a3, and when his knight move we can go knight to d5, but then this pawn would hang. So wait, when he save his knight we can just castle long side. I think long side is good because we are also letting our rook develop. Let's see what happens. Okay, now he wants to play b5 here, so this is a good move by him. Let me just hop in there, but I just hang this pawn. I think this is not a problem because, to be honest, this is a problem which I missed. But also my opponent has also missed this move, which, what does I want to play right now? Let me just move my king from this square. Let's see where I have to go with my bishop. I can place my bishop here, which I think is a good move. But again, he can hit with this, so let me just go. Let me just go to e2 square. See what my opponent wants to play here. He goes for b4, which I was thinking of, but here I can try to block this, or I can also capture this pawn. No, yes, I can take this pawn, which I think I'm going to play it. And now I am a pawn up. I think yes, he goes for pawn to a5. Now my queen is under attack. So where shall I go? I can try to play this move. Queen to d4, and my queen is centralized in the center, which is controlling lots of a square. And just have to see what my opponent plays here. So he goes for rook to b8. I know what he wants to do, but here I can play pawn to e5, I think, which will be a good move because he cannot capture my pawn because his queen would hang. So okay, so he goes for this move. For now I can just capture this pawn for now. Yes, that will be a good move, and this pawn is supported from my queen, so I don't see a problem. Yes, let me just capture this, and if he wants to exchange queens, then I can recapture with my rook here. That would also be a no problem for me. Okay, so he captured with the knight, which I was accepting from him. Now I cannot capture his knight because there will be a checkmate on b2 square. That's why let me just exchange the queens and be safe. Let me see what I can do. I am a pawn of here, so I shall win this game without any difficulties. So let me just bring this rook out. So my both rooks are now developed here. Where shall I go? Let me just play this move. Knight to g5 here, and I am threatening this, which my opponent has saved. Now this is a good move from him, which I missed totally. So I think I have to play b3 here. Because my b2 pawn was hanging from both of his rooks. He is playing quite good here, so let's see. Now the threat is to play rook into b3 check because this pawn is pinned here. So I suppose I have to play this. Let me let me exchange the rook. I mean, let me exchange one pair of bishops here. Now he is playing this, but what I can what I can do here? Let me see. I also have quite a less time here, so I have to play fast. Let me just capture this. He he did not capture my bishop. Wow. I will just save it. No. I can also give a check here. And yes, and then I can play c3, just blocking this file. But uh, I have to make sure to play fast because I have quite a less time than him. Just play king to h8, which would allow me to play this move. And if he takes, then there will be this check. The king and rook will be forked if he goes to h8, but let's not hope for anything else here. Let's see what he plays. If he goes to f8 square, then I can just play c3. Okay, let me just play this move. Just this file is now blocked. b2 he has gone to. Now his plan is to play this maneuver. This is quite a problem for me. What shall I do? Now the time is also quite less here. Now he wants to go there and deliver this check. Let me see. I can play this move here, and this square is still I think controlled, so that would not be a problem. Just I am trying to block this pawn. Okay, so he wants to play this. What shall I do? Let me just go there, and I have to sacrifice my bishop here. So I have to sacrifice it. I can't do much here. But still, I am quite a pawn up. He can play g6 here, which is a good move by him, which he can try to play. Yes, he did try to go there. Let me just block this pawn for now. I have to save this by playing knight g5 here. He can play pawn to f6, but let's see what he do. Pawn f6, then at least I can try to capture the g6 pawn. I'm hoping he can take my knight, but he did take my bishop. Okay, so let me see. Let me just go here and try to capture this pawn, but I have to play fast, as I have told you guys, because time is quite less here. Let's see what he plays. Okay, let me just go there and come king to c2 and then try to take this pawn. I have to save it. Let me just exchange this. Okay. Let's play fast. This square is controlled right now. Let me just go there. He can give me a check here, but what can I do? Wait, let me just play here. Now I'm threatening to deliver a checkmate, so this move is forced here, which he missed. Oh my god. This game was quite intense. Oof. This game was quite intense. I think in this point he has to play here, which was the only move for him, but he misses it. Okay, so GG. Let me search for a new game here. Hello everyone, so you guys are watching, so you can send me a challenge after this game. So I'm playing with a Spanish player. Yes, let me play pawn to e4 here. Let me go for King's Gambit. And here I wants to play this move, bishop to c4. Let's see what my opponent plays. He goes for this, but now I think I can play this, no? Knight to f3 and then kick his bishop from here, which I think I'm going to do. Yep. Then also capture this pawn and just look at my pieces. Every pieces is developed on the good square, so opening has not gone good for him. So this check is also quite bad because I can block this by playing pawn. Now I can play this check, which is quite a strong move because after knight to c6 I can play d5 here, which makes my opponent lose a piece, which I think I am going to play here. Yep, I think this move my opponent has missed. I think this check was not good from him. This was a blunder, I think. Okay, this is also a mistake because after pawn takes, I'm hitting his bishop and this bishop is also being attacked with my queen, so he will also lose yet another piece after this move. So he goes for this. Okay, let me just capture this, and here I can play this move. I'm hitting his f7 pawn here. Now I am one piece up. Oh no, I am two piece up, but my opponent has 3 pawns for it. So let me just castle king side and be safe, and next move I'll try to take this pawn. Just to guys let you know, this pawn is not hanging because after bishop takes I can capture, and when he takes with the queen then I can pin his queen by playing this move. I think my opponent has seen this. Let me just capture this, and every pieces of mine are developed except this rook, which I am going to put here, and then I don't think there will be any problem. I can here also try to play this move, which I think is good, or I can also try to go there. Knight to d5 is quite a strong move because the queen is hit here and he cannot capture this pawn because of the same reason. So here I can take with the pawn here, and opening up this file for my rooks. I think he has to long castle here, which is the only move I think, or he can also short castle, but it totally depend on my opponent. So he does go for this move. So let me just bring out this rook, and every pieces of mine are developed. So this is a good news from me for me. Okay, let's see. He goes queen to f6 here. Let me just hit his queen for once. Let's see where he goes. There are no much choice for him. Just who is square he has, queen to g6 or queen to f5. Let's see where he goes. He goes to the g6 square, then I will again hit his queen by playing bishop to d3 here. The bishop is supported by my queen for now. And after this game, I think I'm going to stop the stream. Okay, so he goes for this. Let me just kick his knight from here also. Knight f6 or knight s6 he has to go. Let's see where he places his knight. Okay, he goes for this move. Okay, what can I do? Now the threat is to play knight into f3 check, and after rook takes, he wants to capture my bishop here. Let me just sacrifice an exchange here, and I will try to play here king to s2, threatening pawn to g4 here, which would trap his queen. So he has to do something against this. Let's see what he plays. Now the threat is to play g4 here, which would trap his queen. So he has to do something for this. Pawn to f5 we can also play here. I think pawn to f5 is a good move right now. Just have to see what he wants to play here. He plays king to h8, which allow me to play g4 here. Now his queen has no square to go to. This is a bad news for my opponent. He just misses this move. Pawn to g4. Now his queen has no square to go to. All these squares are control for now. So the game is, I think, simply over. So he takes my bishop. So let me just capture with my knight. Now I am a queen up. I am also threatening to go there. Okay, so now my knight is hit. So let me just save my knight. Rook f7 he has played. Let me just play queen to c7, threatening to go here. Queen e4, and I'm trying to deliver checkmate on the s7 square. That would be bad for my opponent. So what he wants to play here? Okay, so my opponent has resigned. So guys, I think that's it for this stream. I will try to stream tomorrow also. So you guys have any question, so do write and try to come in the next stream. So see you guys soon, and I will try to stream tomorrow also. So